welcome, but he's like, I'm awake. Welcome to the Serenity Knitting Society podcast. My name is Alex. This is a knitting podcast out of the mid-north coast. My cat's already trying to eat the yarn. Ah! Okay, baby, come on. I literally just took a very cute video. I'm going to put it on Instagram. He was sleeping in the washing basket. I thought he was going to stay there. I thought, the people love the cat. He never is in these videos because there's nowhere for him to go. So I thought I'd like take a little bit of video, put it on the Instagram, see if I can insert it here. If I can, I will insert it somewhere here. If I can't, I'm not an editing person. You can check out my Instagrams. Okay. We are here. I also feel like my hair looks really great for someone who hasn't washed it in 4 days. Dry shampoo is pretty good, guys. It's pretty good. Okay, but this is a knitting podcast. Where am I? It's been about a month, which is nice. I feel like there's been a bit more consistency recently. I just needed a 6-month hiatus. I actually had quite a big shift in my job. So my actual life schedule changed significantly and has given me a little bit more space and time that I actually A, am enjoying my knitting, and B, I have like the capacity to think about doing creative things. And I'm, as much as I really loved my previous job, as much as I loved that, I can also see how, yeah, this opportunity to be creative is really lovely. And I've had the day off today, and I spent the morning painting, which I haven't done for quite a while. And I started a book called The Artist Way, which probably plenty of you are familiar with, but it was lent to me by a friend because I wasn't sure if I wanted to buy it. And I'm halfway in. I don't know if you can hear those people talking outside, but anyway, I'm halfway in. I'm like, not even. I'm like 6 to 12 pages in and I'm already in love, and I will be buying my own copy so I can scribble all the way through it. I'm unsure about my capacity to follow like exactly as it's written, that you do a 12-week course, because I'm also like, I'm finished a master's degree and I work full time and, you know, engage in a human life. So I feel like if I didn't have uni, it would be totally possible. But interestingly enough, I'm studying creative therapies. I'm a therapist. I'm studying creative therapies this term, so it's kind of a nice match. And I'm a deeply creative person, and I wouldn't have referred to myself as an artist, but I have a really good friend who does, and who does. And there was even a time recently where he's like, oh yeah, I know this incredible painter, and I'm like, who? And he's like, you. And I was like, oh, thanks. But I had to do it for fun. Anyway, I enjoy painting very much, and I just like doing it. I've painted a lot of beautiful rocks though, which sounds really random, but maybe I should. Anyway, maybe if I have to pause this at some point, I will go find one just to show you, because now that I've talked about it, I might as well. But it's just for fun. Okay, knitting. Hi. Talk about being an artist. I'm also a freaking knitter. And some of you may have noticed my finished object. I'm very pleased about this. It was one of these projects where I recently heard someone else talk about this. It's like, it's not exactly what I had pictured in my head, and I love it. But it's a little bit different from what I had originally pictured. So for those of you who are not familiar, / if you're new, hey, thanks for being here. This is actually a knitting podcast. You might not be able to tell from the first 4 minutes, but that's pretty good. I don't know, lots of knitting podcasts take a long time to get into it. I feel like I'm doing all right. I forgot to breathe. This is the Fleur Shawl. This is the Fleur Shawl. Guys, I will eventually knit some other things. I actually have a few things today that are different. I have a different shawl that I've cast on. What the fuck? Who am I? Am I okay? Oh, it's good. I feel like I've dropped in a little bit. You know, I don't know if you, I was going to say, you know, maybe you don't. Sometimes when I first press record, I can hear myself being like, is this me? Am I being authentic? Am I, like, where am I? Who am I? Like, what's going on? Because I press record and then I think, do I start again? And then I just keep going. And generally speaking, it's 5 minutes in and I'm like, oh yeah, cool, we're landing now. Normally, not always, but normally I take like 5 to 10 minutes to like settle and ground and like, you know, full, you can tell I'm a therapist, right? Full sit with my, you know, like really get in there. But I kind of wasn't today. I lit my incense, which I'll show you because I really love it and I just want to share it with you because I think it's wonderful. I made my cup of tea. I've just been kind of in this creative storm this morning. It's been so beautiful and I've just kind of been in it. So I was like, fuck, I'm going to sit down and just film because I have some time. And, but yeah, it meant that I didn't do that. And then, yeah, I was like, at this point, I was like, wait, who am I? Where am I? Am I authentic? Am I pretending? What's going on? Because, you know, this is the internet. So anyway, this is the Fleur. In case you weren't aware that you're on the internet, this is it. This is the Fleur. Now, it is beautiful, isn't it? I'm pretty happy with this one, team. I'm pretty proud of this one. Now, this is, let me think of all the details. It's a pattern by Espace Tricot, but it was written by Melissa Clulo, who is the owner of Nutiden Yarn Co. And she previously was the owner of Espace Tricot, but not anymore. And it is knit out of, what is it knit out of, Alex? It is knit out of Quartz by Purl Soho. Hang on, I might actually have the yarns here. I have a collection of things. Aspetta. For those of you who don't know, I'm trying to learn Italian, so occasionally I just chuck a few Italian words in. It's, some people may find it mildly obnoxious, but I like to think of it as, I just like it. It's just getting colourful. I'm trying to be bilingual. Here we go. So this is, do I have the tags? It'd be really handy if I did. I've got one tag. This is Quartz. It's an alpaca. I think it's 100% alpaca, but I don't know for sure. I'm pretty sure. By Purl Soho, and it is in the colour Lavender Moon, I believe. I will try and confirm these in the below. And then I have, now this is what actually inspired it because I just impulse purchased, which is, I must admit, not actually very like me. It is in the world when I'm in person. I love an impulse purchase. On the web line, I heard Lily from Curatorial Knits. I love this. She said I was just beep bop booping on the internet. And if I don't start using that, I'd be very disappointed. I was beep bop booping on the internet, as Lily says. Oh God, I loved that so much. And I found this. Look. Tell me that's not the most Alexy colour you've ever seen. Now, if you don't know me, it is. Oh, spoiler alert. This is it. It's like, and even my husband said to me the other day, we were sitting by the beach and he goes, what would you say like your favorite color is? And not just like pink, because we know that, but like, what's your actual favorite color? And I was like, well, you tell me. And he goes, I think it'd be like a pinky, lavendery color. And I was like, well, we have known each other for 15 years, so I'd be a little concerned if you didn't pick that one up. So this is Love and Speckles. Oh, and what's her name? I think her name's Trina Knits on the Instagram. Anyway, I should probably take a photo of this and then tag her in it because it's beautiful. The colour is Twilight. It's the Kid Silk Fluff, 72% mohair, 28% silk, 420 meters per 50 grams. This is some of the nicest mohair I have ever used. It's comparable to the Nutiden Yarn Co. Halo, which is my favourite of all time. This is comparable. I would swap them out any day of the week. It's beautiful. And the colour, it's turning more pink there. in real life, let me see if I can get it to be a bit more real lifey, because I'm in the sunshine. It's a little bit more that. Maybe. It's beautiful. That's all I have to say about that. It's beautiful. And I think I told you last time, when I ordered this, I did order the singles to go with it. But because, and this is really good for everyone to know, just in case you didn't know, different yarn bases will absorb dye differently. Now, it's still a beautiful colour, but it was coming out significantly more. The shawl, when they were knitting up together, was coming out more bubblegum pink. And I was kind of looking for like true to that Twilight colour. This kind of softer pink. I am very happy with this combination. I will use the other thing for something else. I might even pair it with a white mohair just to like tone down the bubblegum. Now, some of you are going to be sitting there going, Alex, that looks pretty bubblegum pink to me. It was, I just don't know what to tell you. It's just, this was the tone I really wanted. Okay, so I shared a little bit about my inspiration for this last time, so I'm not going to completely rejig you. But I do, I was thinking, I was like, am I going to read something from it? No, I won't. But a big part of this shawl, the inspiration for this, and again, if you're new, you probably aren't, because let's be honest, I'm sure that most of us are just the same people who are just hanging in with me. But if you are new, I am quite often, not always, but often pretty, I don't know what the word is. It's not just knitting. It's like this whole other creative / spiritual / psychologically, not even really psychological, it's more like psychoanalytical process for me of knitting. Also, fun to know, I haven't blocked this. I'm uninclined to, if I'm really honest. I obviously will have to wash it at some point, but I'm uninclined to block it because I like the way that it currently is. Although I do think the blocking will plump up the quartz quite significantly. So at some point I probably will, but the drape on this is just fucking ridiculous. Okay, hold on, my brain is scattered. let's I also should tell you what I'm wearing at some point. Remind me. Okay. I'm gonna put it back on. Actually, no, I won't, because I better tell you about something first. Okay. I'm gonna tell you the bottom part. You might notice, buddy, no baby. Do you want to come say hello to the people? Would it make you feel better if you had some love? No, he's going to go sit up on the window. Okay, sorry everyone. I thought about it, but he's very happy on the window. Now you might notice that I have one, if you're familiar with the Fleur, you will know that there are often 2 layers of bobbles, and I have 3. And here's what happened. This is the 4th time I've knit this pattern. Why? Great question, you. Great question. 1, I just love it. Mostly, I love it because of the shape. This is the absolute perfect shawl shape for me. It is so fucking wearable because you can wear it around like this, which is how I'm going to leave it now. But you can also wrap it around your shoulders, and because there's a significant wingspan, which we all know that if we know some other sets of books, we know that means something different, but you know, we all love a big wingspan. We can wrap it around. I'm like, side joke, was that fair to make here? Whatever, I swear in this video, I think we're all there. Okay, so we're snuggling around. I know some of you know what I mean. All right, concentrate. You can snuggle it around and it's delicious, right? But you can also wear it around here and it's not falling off. It's not like overly bulky. It sits, for me, really nicely. Perfecto. See? So, see? What happened was, I have knit this a few times before. So rather than follow the pattern like a human, I decided that I was just going to knit, and then as I kind of like measure it against my other one. And I actually don't really know what happened, but at one point I thought I was ready to start the bobbles. No, that's what happened. I remember now. Okay, so I knit down to the first, where I thought the first or the second bobble row was. And then I counted the amount of rows. And I think what I did was I didn't count correctly. Or maybe I just did measure and then, anyway, whatever. The point was, it was too short. And I easily could have cast off because I've got a couple that are shorter and it wouldn't have been a problem to have had a slightly, like, you know, if you imagine that it just would have been about this much shorter. No biggie, right? But I love, having had 3 others, I love my OG one, which is the blue one, which is knit all in Nutiden Yarn Co. It's blue. Did I say that already? Anyway. It is my favourite thing I've ever knit, hands down. I've got some other things that I wear more, but it's my favourite thing that I've ever knit. And I get compliments on it wherever I wear it. And what I love about it is the size. So I love the other ones, but I definitely feel like there is something delightfully, perfectly luxurious about the size of that one. And it's not just the depths, it's the wingspan. And so I was like, okay, what are my options? And really, I have shit tons of this yarn. Plenty. As you can see how much I have left. So I just thought, fuck it, just keep going. Do a little bit more, add another bubble row. I was a bit worried it would be a bit much, but let's be honest. Is it ever too much? No. This has proven it. Absolutely not. Now, you might notice, and I'm going to point it out just in case you are one of these people, but I also want to point it out in case you didn't notice to say that, hey, it doesn't really matter that much, unless you are freaking out. You might notice that these are not perfectly even, because what I did was I eyeballed it. I just was like, yeah, that's pretty close. And then I would, because again, I was off the stitch count. I wasn't on the row thing. So I just kind of worked it out. Now, overall, if you want to see it perfectly, just go back. You can't really tell that they're, like, you can kind of look at it and go, yeah, okay, this one's probably a little closer than this one, like quite a bit actually. But really, so it's fine. Like, and I'm never really going to notice. And I'm looking at it here and it's like, but I also know that for some people, this is very important and it would stress them out greatly. So if that is you, please follow the pattern. If not really, what I did was I just kind of eyeballed it and I kind of worked out where the middle one was. And that's how I did it, because I had 3. So instead of having them perfectly matching, I kind of had to have, what I was trying to do was I was trying to have it so they kind of worked in like a little triangle. So it was like these ones kind of match up. Hang on, if we look at it like, yeah, anyway. I think it just works. That's better on that side. You can kind of see how these two match up, that one's in the middle. These two match up, that one's in the middle. It works a little bit better. This one's a little not quite so. Gets better as you go along, I guess. It's perfectly imperfect. I'm delighted with it. And the inspiration, I was just looking at the time going, how have I been talking for 18 minutes? But I do that all the time. I need some tea. Oops, I spilt it. It's winter here, and now whenever I make a tea, within 30 seconds it's cold. Now, in fairness, it's actually been 18 minutes and 35 seconds. But that still feels like a short time. Because I really love that moment when you have your tea and it's hot, but it's not too hot to drink. It's like that perfect, I'm actually having a chai it's a Rooibos chai from Love Tea. It's a little bit expensive, but I like that it's caffeine free, which is hilarious because I drink so much coffee. I'm not a caffeine free person, but it's just nice to have when I don't want to have caffeine, but I want to have a milky drink. And I also love that it's like a little peppery, and that's my issue with a lot of chais, is I feel like they're super cinnamony, but I want a bit of kick. And when I visited an ashram up near Ukai in the Northern Rivers, not too far from where I am, I visited an ashram and they had the most brilliant chai. It was incredible, and I've been chasing that ever since. It's taken me a really long time to get to the story of this. I feel like I need to slow down a bit. the inspiration for this was the goddess Parvati, who is a Hindu goddess. Now, I am the first to say that I am not super familiar with the Hindu pantheon of mythology. It's something I'm learning more about over time. And I'm lucky to have had some beautiful friends kind of send some more information my way. And so if you want to hear more about that inspiration, I think I have it in the previous video. But really the fundamental ideas and how this has been playing out in my life has been this concept of devotion. And my understanding, please feel free to inform me if I've misunderstood, politely please. But my understanding is that Parvati is the consort of Shiva, and that the general myth, or part of her myth, is that Shiva was grieving his first wife, and he was like devastated, and so Parvati was, you know, his kind of destined consort. And so part of what she was doing was that she sat in meditation day after day after day after day in devotion to creation, you know, to this process. And I would love to know that myth a bit better. I'm sure I'm absolutely butchering it. But what I love is the kind of interplay of masculine and feminine energies. And so my understanding is Parvati is kind of like the embodiment of both masculine and feminine principles, and that between herself as Shakti and then Shiva being like this divine union, but that she also embodies the divine union within herself, right? And so she has those masculine and feminine energies in a whole one being. And this has been, from my like spiritual practice and from my kind of life practice, something that I have been navigating is as a deeply feminine human being, navigating a relationship with an internal masculine. And yeah, so that's fun. And anyway, but the way that's been manifesting is I have been moving further into my meditation practice. And, you know, my 2024 Goddess of the Year, which is, if you're not familiar, Amy Palco does a goddess reading, and I was generously gifted one by my beautiful friend Jackie. And my goddess was a Nuket, who I'm yet to have a project for a Nuket, but she has to have one. I just want it to be, I actually saw one of the Nutiden colourways for the next one. I'm not a Patreon or anything, but I just saw like this beautiful bluey green, and I thought, is that the one? Is that it? Are we having that? Anyway, but I also just made a bluey green sweater, my one from Bologna, in the last video, so we'll see. But I feel like I'm wondering if my Nuket sweater might end up being like a deep navy. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway. But the word associated with that, because she's the goddess of open arms, the word associated with that was receive. And receiving and being receptive is a very feminine principle when we're looking at masculine and feminine energies, right? And so this process of devotion and being open to receive is my primary spiritual practice. And it's hilarious because no matter how I run from it, it keeps coming back. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's beautiful. But sometimes it's like, oh yeah, that thing again. So for me, meditation is an opportunity for me to sit in devotion and receive, you know, whatever it is. Be open, be receptive. And but there's also like a masculine element, I suppose, to the actual process of like the discipline or the rhythm to sit and to do it, you know, to bring myself there, because it's one of those things where it's like creation or creative energy, life force energy, or Shakti, or whatever, however you like to refer to it, without direction and containment is just chaos. And without the process of actually sitting down and creating and sitting down and actually doing, or, you know, having that kind of structure and containment, it just evaporates. And yeah, so anyway, knitting. I also like that this keeps happening to me where because I do have shampoo, it wouldn't be an Alex video if I didn't have a little bit of dry shampoo in my hair. And my first video that I ever made, it's quite noticeable, and like 6,000 people have watched that one. So anyway, whatever. I'm a human. Okay, cool, knitting. But yes, I'm thrilled with this, and I was very intentional about when and how I worked on this. I spent a lot of time on my veranda knitting it. I was listening to the Marion Woodman book. I think it's Dancing in the Flames. Anyway, it's beautiful. I love it. I love it. It's beautiful. It's knit on a size 6 needle, and it's a free pattern. If you have not knit one of these, I just couldn't recommend it any more highly. I know I've said that a million times, but it's true. Now, very quickly, because you've seen this all before, but I will tell you because I know somebody's going to ask. This is my, is it called Brightside? Bright something. It's by Espace Tricot. Another free pattern. It's knit in Biches. It's, the stripes are my own idea. I just put them in. There are three stripes, and then I think it was like 15 in between, to be honest. It's a fingering weight, very light fingering weight sweater. I can't believe I knit a fingering weight sweater. Who am I? I'm really confused. I would do it again. This was really quick, actually. I can't remember what needles I did, but I have a project page. This is beautiful. I love it. I don't wear it as much as I honestly probably should. I did at some point rip out the sleeves and make them longer to make them kind of more bracelet-y length because they were originally 3/4, and I'm happy with it. I would definitely, the feel of this makes me want to knit another fingering weight sweater. I kind of can't believe I did it, but I'm very happy with it. It's a beautiful knit, and this yarn is one of my favorites. And that brings me to, I've got a couple of questions because I said if anyone wanted to ask me some questions, and I've just got 2, so I'm just going to sprinkle them through. So one of the question was from Silver Soph. Thanks, Silver Soph. She asked, please list your most favorite yarns in order. So while we're here and I'm mentioning some of my favorite yarns, my top favorite yarn is Sondi Yarn Co. Their Halo is beautiful. So that's their Mohair. I've tried a few different Mohairs. It's beautiful. Now, obviously, not obviously, but most likely I wouldn't use that alone. So I really love the Sunday Morning range. Now, I've used the DK, the Sunday Morning DK. Stunning, stunning. And I've knit that with my Sunday Morning Pullover with the Halo. That was just the most glorious yarn combination. I am thinking about actually going back just for fun. If I do it, I'll let you know. I'm thinking about going back and adding a couple of inches onto that. Not because it's I think I just finished before I really needed to. I think I'd wear it a bit more if I had it a little bit longer. So I love the Sunday Morning DK, and I'd love to try the fingering at some point. I think the fingering would be beautiful for colour work. Okay, then next underneath that is probably, I don't know if you can hear that very loud car. I really love Ralmafino. I really love it. Oh, do I love Nutiden next though? Ooh, no, I'm going to say Ralmafino because I haven't actually used, I mean, I've used it quite a bit, but I've used it on smaller knits. I would love a sweater in Ralmafino. I think it's just one that I would need to really commit to, being a fingering, it's kind of sport weight. I would love a sweater in that. It's beautiful, but I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks for colour work. I love the fabric you get from it. I just love that. Then I would say Nutiden. I've got another Nutiden project. I underestimated Nutiden even when I used it the first time. I underestimated it badly. And yeah. And Biches, this Le Petit Lambswool has been one of my most used yarns. And I think, okay, A, because it just keeps fucking going. Firstly, it's got a lot of life to it. So I've used it for a lot of things because I had some for this project and then I just kept going with it. So but it's beautiful, and the fabric it makes is stunning. It's super soft. It comes in a beautiful range of colors. Gorgeous. And then What other ones do I like? I think those are going to be my top ones for the moment. If I think of anything else, I'll sprinkle it in. I've got a couple of yarns that I'd like to try. So a couple of yarns that I'd like to try would be, oh, actually, and I do love, oh, this is kind of more for the other question. Anyway, I'll leave that for the other question. But I would really like to try Gilead by De Rerum Natura. And, oh, see, I love the Labienemy yarns that I used. I've used the Mohair, and I've used, oh, I have some of the Corrie worsted, but I haven't actually used it yet because I didn't buy sweaters quantity. I bought enough for a colourwork cowl, but then I chickened out on doing it because it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't feel like the right thing. So I haven't actually used them, but I do like them. Okay, next. Okay, whips. Real quick before I whip, I just want to let you know, I put on some incense before this, and I've mentioned this before, but I like to let people know this incense is so lovely. This is my favorite ever. It's called, obviously it's called Grace. Holy smokes, eco incense. But I've lit this one called The Alchemist. This is their new, so it's the same brand, but this is their new line. This is their original line. It's beautiful. Just in case you like incense, this is lovely. And I just think that if you see it and you like incense, I would very much recommend this brand. It's beautiful. I love the packaging too. It makes me happy in my soul. Okay, whips. So my first whip, and I really appreciate all your feedback and suggestions about this Nutiden project, because I was so all over the shop and I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. And I was umming and ahhing, and I was like, am I going to do this? Am I not going to do this? What am I doing? And I originally had these two colors. So this one's Frenesi, and this one is, I believe, I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that it's Hiver. See, some people have notes. I don't do that because where's the fun in that? If I'm not a little bit confused. Now, I actually think that's a pretty good representation. Probably a little bit blown out. Yeah, that's probably a bit better. So I think these are really beautiful. And I had both of these, and I had another one called Alchemy, which I also love. And I think I will hold these together with that for something else. I've got a plan. Don't worry, Jackie, I've got a plan. But I really felt this Hecate, she's a Greek goddess of crossroads and magic and a few other things, but you know, that's her like primary deal, witches, queen of the witches. I felt something. I felt something here, and I had 300 of this and 300 of this. Now, originally what I was going to do was I was going to knit something in this, like a scarf or shawl, and then I was going to hold this with something to make the koyame. But then I didn't do that. And I had a swatch that I showed you last time, and I had some different ideas, and I love your ideas. I really did. I had the swatch. I wasn't sure. I felt a bit about it, which some of you picked up on, which I valued. And I just kept getting this thing going, just fucking cast on. Just cast on. Just cast on. What's the worst thing that happens? You undo it. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this so far. So this is the Turtle Dove 2. Oh, there's a lot of Espace Tricot / Melissa Clulo patterns in this episode. She's a fucking genius, that woman. Hold on, I just want to fix the collar for you because otherwise it's not going to look as pretty and you're going to be like, what is going on there? Okay, my hair was looking good and now it's getting a bit grey. Okay, so this was the Turtle Dove, except I've changed the collar, so nobody panic. Now, I will tell you about the collar because it was a bit of a story. Look at this colour. Isn't that pretty? It's like, I am currently very happy with this. Because here's the thing. I think this colour Frenesi is stunning, beautiful. And I'm not sure if I would get that much wear out of it. As an accessory, probably. As a jumper, probably not. It feels very casual. However, it's interesting because I recently saw Jackie's sweater in whale watching, and I forget what the other colour was. And it's a similar colour, and I don't feel that way about it being casual. But for some reason in this, I think it's because of the mohair. I think the colour with the mohair, I think it works. With this, it feels too weekend. It feels weekend. This feels a bit like too grey. Like when I just look at that by itself, it's a purpley based grey, but it's grey, you know? What happens is, I feel like you hold these together and you get like the love child. You get like, is it grey? Is it purple? Is it lilac? I feel like it pulls both colours, and I am happy with the result. Because for me, what it does is it tones down the lilac so that I feel like I could actually wear this with my black jeans, with my boots. I know, black jeans? Who am I? In my head, I'm envisaging this with my black jeans and my cowboy boots. And I'm thinking about knitting it quite long. And I have, as you can see, I'm going to block these out. Quite long sleeves. I'm hoping these are going to be straight. That's my hope anyway. And so what I wanted was like, what I'm hoping for, we shall see, like long, chic, like almost tunicky, but long, with my skinny jeans and boots. And I'm thinking that because of what I do, like I wouldn't say my work is particularly formal in the setting that I work in. I think that this could be really nice and really snug. Now, I'm not 100% sure about, I need to block the collar. I blocked this top bit, and what actually happened was I knit the collar, it was way too big. So I actually did, and I'm glad I didn't look up how to do this. I'm not recommending it. Maybe do it if you're gonna do it. I just snipped it and started to unravel it. And I'm glad that I didn't look that up because I think I would have been really intimidated, to be honest with you. And this is like 99% of my knitting experience is I seem to just do stuff and then I sit there going, oh, it was way easier than I thought it was. Like if I had looked it up, I honestly don't think that I would have, I think I would have freaked out and just gone, oh, I can't do that. And just unraveled the whole thing. I need some more lip gloss, I can tell. I would have unraveled the whole thing. Okay, just in case you're interested, I like this lip gloss, but it does worry me a little bit that it's probably very full of chemicals. I'm using it up. I don't know. I like it. It's the, what is it called? Revolution. What's that brand called? Anyway, I bought it at Priceline. It's a watermelon. I like it. It tastes nice, but I'm very aware that it's probably chemical city. Yes, so I blocked it up to like here when I had about this much, and then it was huge. It was like 12 stitches too big. So I just unraveled it and I picked up and I knit up. I'm surprised it worked, if I'm honest. But I just thought, fuck it, I better give it a go. You know what I mean? Like I'd knit this much and I just felt like I could undo it all, or I could try. Like if I'm gonna undo it all anyway, I could just try, see if it works. If it doesn't work, oh well, no harm, no foul. I had to unravel it anyway. But if it does work, great. And then I've learned a skill. So I'm gonna block it again because I feel like it wants to sit like this. It wants to sit like this for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm wondering if I block it, and I think it could also be a little bit because of the short rows that maybe wants to sit like that. But I just want to make sure that when it's on my body, it sits nicely. I'm super happy with the colour. I feel like what this ends up becoming is like a shape-shifting colour. That in some lights, it looks like right there, it looks really grey. But then in other lights, I feel like it looks really purple, and you get these beautiful little like flecks of the actual like blue purple coming through. So I feel like it's a shape-shifty yarn. Now what I would say is I really noticed with this one, and I think it might be not the Frenesi, but the Hiver, I think it has more lanolin in it. Now, I'm not a Nutiden expert. What I am aware of, mostly because of Jackie's knowledge from Knitting a Good Yarn, is that this is a thicker production than the Frenzy. And I feel like there's more lanolin in it because I'm noticing a big difference from the fabric where I have blocked and where I haven't blocked. Like this feels quite stiff. This is soft, flumpy. I am very excited, and actually what I am doing is a new thing. I'm not normally a sleeves before the body kind of girl. I'm not. But I want a really long body. And I normally have I actually have quite a short torso in comparison to my legs, right? So I want a long body, but I want to make sure the sleeves are long enough first. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the sleeves, both of them. I'll probably block it. And then I'm just gonna knit till my heart's content. Now, I'm very on the fence about whether or not I want a split hem because I always do this. I make a non-split hem and then 5 seconds later I decide I want a split hem. But I love with my GL sweater that it doesn't have a split hem. It's one of the only sweaters I've ever had that didn't have a split hem that I love. And it's in Nutiden. So where I underestimated Nutiden was I underestimated the deliciousness of the fabric. I underestimated it severely. I love this. And it's interesting because I knit the ranunculus in the colourway Alchemy. I didn't love it as much. And it's not that the colourway isn't beautiful. It was something about, I don't know. I don't know what it was. I just didn't have that feeling of this is delicious. And I ended up giving it to my mum, and I hope she's enjoying it. And it's not that I don't want to say I didn't like it, but I just didn't fall head over heels in love with it. I'm head over heels in love with my GL sweater. I love the way it feels. I love the way the fabric's turned out. I love it. I love it. I think this is going to be the comfiest, snuggliest, most wearable thing. And I think if it had been in Frenzy, as beautiful as that colour is, if I had just had it in this, I don't know if I would have gotten the same wear out of it. It's beautiful. I just think that it wouldn't have quite been as wearable. So I'm happy for this one. And my, yeah, I like that it's a Hecate sweater. I like it's a little witchy. I'm really into that. I just bought my first ever set of tarot cards. Yeah, I'm diving in. So yeah, oversized, but also not too oversized. It's not that big. Like it's gonna be, the sleeves are gonna be long, the body's gonna be long, but the actual width is gonna be oversized but not ridiculous. That's how it's currently fitting. Now obviously, you know, all's fair in love and blocking, so we'll see what happens there, but I'm actually thrilled with this color. And I feel like, and I know that there are people, and it's okay if you're dying a little bit inside because I have mixed 2 Nutiden colorways. I understand this and I fully honor your experience. There's a part of me that knows that for many people it's like sacrilege because there's this element of like maintaining the integrity of the colorway. For me, this is like watercolor painting, which ironically is what I was doing this morning. It's like how these colors shift and change and marry to create a third new thing. And it just kind of, yeah, it just reminds me of like, I don't even know what it is. You know how like in Moonstone, oh, interesting. Oh, I like this idea. Oh, I like it as I'm thinking of it. I feel like I'm really glad you got to see that. My brain going, ooh. It's like when Moonstone, when you see those shifts and those changes and there's like almost a purpley grey shift, that's how I kind of imagine it. And yeah, I love it very much. I also like that, I feel like it makes my eyes look really green and I like that a lot. So I am going very quickly at this. Now I knit this in 2 days, like this whole sleeve in 2 days, very not like 2 days, like full days, but just days doing my life. I would say that today I was going to have a whole bunch of it, but I've got some new yarn that I want to start a project on and I will be starting it today because I'm very excited about it. So yes, this is my gorgeous Hecate sweater. It's technically the Turtle Dove 2. I'm knitting it on a 5.5mm needle, but I did actually do the sleeves on a 6mm because I didn't have a 5.5mm small circumference circular, and I know that some people go up when they're doing a small circumference. It seems to have worked fine for me. I would say that I don't want to call myself a cowboy, but I feel like I'm a little bit of a cowboy knitter, where I'm kind of just a bit like, yeah, that'll work. And then sometimes it doesn't, and then sometimes it totally does. But I wouldn't say I'm the most technical of the knitters. I would say I'm very intuitive, and I'm probably a bit more, yeah, I am a little bit shoot from the hip, if I'm honest. I'm a little bit of a cowboy. I'm a cowboy knitter. Okay, next, whip. I'll show you a new one. I'll show you a new one and then I'll show you my half and half. So this is, I've wanted to knit this for so long, and here's what I want to say. Now, I know I'm not very far through this pattern, but if you want to knit this with me, do it. Do it. It'll probably help me a little bit, so if I'm honest, because this one, it's very outside of my box. It's very outside of my box, but I am, fluff on my face, there we go, 46 minutes in and now we're in the podcast. I wish it was a bit hotter, if I'm honest. How beautiful is this mug too? It's by Upper Crystal Creek Pottery. It's handmade. It's beautiful. If you live in Australia, I don't know if she's got an online store or whatever, but this was not, I don't remember it being ridiculously expensive. Like, it's beautiful. I would like more of these, but to be honest, sometimes it's special just because you've got one. She has a baking dish with this same pattern, and I can't show you, but underneath it's just like textured, you see? Oh yeah, textured clay. She's got a beautiful mark underneath it. If I finish my tea, I'll show you. It's beautiful. I love it so much. It's my favorite mug. Okay, I've got to tell you what this pattern is. It's the Rose and Honey Shawl, and I'll link the designer below. I'm very sorry that I can't think. Oh, here, I'll just quickly look at it. I'll see if I can find it real quick because I really want to mention it because this is beautiful. Let me see if I can quickly find it for you. Oh, hang on, I've got it on my books because I was just looking at the pattern. I have wanted to knit this for a very, very long time, but I was very specific about what I wanted to knit it in. Gavriella, that's a beautiful name. Gavriella Treminio. What a beautiful name. First of all, she's gorgeous. If she's the one in these photos, good gracious, she's delightful. It's beautiful. I'm going to show you the full thing because it's, I've got it in front of me. Also, the pattern itself is just beautifully designed. Rose and Honey. Can you see? Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's see if we can do this. Yay! Sort of. Can you see that? Isn't that beautiful? Oh! So the story of this is sometimes when you're online yarn shopping, you don't get the colour that you think you're getting. It's happened to me a few times. It's a bit of a shame, but occasionally it works out. So I bought something for, what did I buy this for? I can't remember what I bought this for, but I bought, this is the Magpie Fibres Swanky sock, and I thought it was pink. It's not. It's pinkish. It has like a pinky undertone, but it's kind of more like a pearl color. And it's like, you can see the silk in it. I can't remember. The Swanky sock has a silk content. So you can see it. It's like a pearly color. Now you might notice I have a very big love of pearls. Me and Aphrodite got some things in common. And I love this, but it was not at all what I wanted for the project. Oh, that's right, for my color craze shawl, and it wasn't working. I wanted white, 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 white. This was not gonna do it. It just didn't look right. So I've had this for ages, like nearly since I started my podcast, which was like 2 years ago. So if you want to go back and binge watch a whole bunch of me, it's just as insane as it is right now. In fact, it's probably progressed. But yeah, I've had this for ages. And what I've done, and God love me, is I've tried to match this colour with a whole bunch of different mohairs over many years. So I tried it with a white mohair, I tried it with a pink mohair, I tried it with any, and I never went in person to pick the mohair. I just kept buying them online. Don't do that, guys. I don't like to tell people what to do and not do, but I just would really highly recommend that you just go and get some, because when I was in Sydney recently, I was only there for like 48 hours. I just got some mohair that actually worked. So this is the Rowan Kid Silk Haze, and I must admit I had previously not been a very big fan of this, and I don't know if it shifts, and what I imagine, maybe this is the case because I've noticed this, the feel of it, hand feel, might change a little bit from colourway to colourway. And the reason I say this is because I have tried this in the white and I didn't particularly like it. I felt like it was a bit chalky. But if I think about it from the perspective of how do you get something to be white, you bleach it. So for me, I'm thinking that would make sense that it might feel a bit chalky. I don't hate this, which is a good thing because I actually bought a whole bunch in a light pink as well. I'll be honest, the only reason I bought this was because I knew I wasn't going to be anywhere else near a yarn store anytime soon. I have bought online. I've had really good success with Purl Soho for colours, and I've had really good success with Sunspun. I really like Sunspun for an online yarn. And actually, the one I just bought today was also wonderful. I'm kind of answering another question. Hold on, I want to get the person's name. Oh, Christ. I'm going to do it, otherwise I'll forget, and I really want to make sure that these people were kind enough to give me a question, so I feel like Momo Skeens. Okay, so Momo Skeens asked, any Australian yarn stores, companies you recommend? We want to support the locals. Okay, Australian yarn stores. Sunspun, I probably purchased the most from Sunspun. I think that they are just wonderful. I also have a real love for, oh gosh, hang on. I'm trying to think of, I bought this, she's a hand dyer, and the reason I want to get the name right is because there was this peachy pink sock yarn that I bought. I think it's just Rainbow and Sprinkles. Rainbow and Sprinkles. I bought this. Now, I'm going to show you quickly their the Instagram. Can you see this? Okay, so I know that I don't use a whole lot of variegated yarns, right? I really know that. So it's going to seem really random that I'm mentioning them. But wow, that colorway's pretty. Gee, that's pretty. Rainbow and Speckles have this beautiful peach yarn, and I can't remember what the name of it was for the life of me, but I have a project on it where I used it. Is that the one there? No, Pink Fetty looks nice though too. You're just now looking at me looking at my phone. I want to see if I can find this colorway. I would knit an entire sweater out of this thing. The speckles in this thing was just, oh, here it is. Just peachy. Run, don't walk. If you like peach, oh, it's beautiful. I would like a sweater in this. Probably with like a pale pink or a white mohair. So they're wonderful. Rainbow and Sprinkles, Megan from there is just delightful. Who else do I love? I'm yet to place an order from Little Woolly Makes, but they look like I have an excellent selection, and they do have Rama Phenol, which someone asked about in the last video. So that is likely. Who else? Three Cats Yarn is a Sydney-based company. I really love their colorway Duck Egg Blue. I actually have not bought it, but in my head I have a sweater planned in probably the DK, maybe held with a mohair, but I have a plan for that. Where else have I bought? Oh, Knit Happens in Wollongbar. That's my local shop. So highly recommend. Karen's delightful. When I say local, it's an hour and a bit away, but she's delightful. And okay, other places that I love, Blackwattle Yarns, which is down south near, like outside of Canberra. Their alpaca yarn. Now, I think they've actually discontinued maybe the one that I really loved, which was 100% alpaca. I loved that. But their colorways and their general overall vibe is beautiful, and I have no doubt that their quality for that alpaca was stunning. So I have no doubt their quality is good. I would actually love to buy one of their fingering weight bases with, they have like a really bougie one with a bit of like cashmere or something in it, and then hold that with their fluffy stuff and make, I think it's a sweater number 28, the one that has the different, like it's like a rib and then a stockinette and then a little bit of like a rib, and oof. I really want to try the Great Southern Yarn Co. I hope I've got that name right off the top of my head, but they've got a yarn line called La Bella, and I would love to try their yarns. It's beautiful, looks so gorgeous. Skein Sisters is great. I have been there many times in person. I prefer to be there in person for them, but they do have Afterpay, and I honestly think that I would probably buy more yarn if there were more shops that had Afterpay, if I'm honest. Because sometimes when you're buying like a $300 yarn sweaters quantity, like, that'd be really good. Okay. But thank you for your questions, my lovely friends. I really appreciate that. It's really sweet. When you ask for something and then people respond, it's really delightful. So, I knew I wasn't going to be in the vicinity. I get background. You follow me down the garden path and we get background. I wasn't going to be in the vicinity of another yarn store for quite a while. I knew I had this. I knew the pattern I wanted to make. I've been wanting to make it for a long time because it's stunning. And I just bought it. And I also bought a, like, maybe 4 balls, 6 balls, quite a few balls of a rose pink colour. And I don't know what I'm doing with that, if I'm honest. So, I have started. I also have this in my, this is my very favourite Bed of Roses bag. Okay, now, let's see if I can show you this without losing any stitches. If I was a real blogger, I would have, like, put it on something. Oh, back to front. Okay, can we see? Oh, it's very pretty. Now, obviously, let's all just remember, mostly I'm just talking to myself here, this will block, like, it's quite detailed. Now, this is you might notice, you're looking at me going, Alex, what is going on? This is not your jam from a knitting perspective. And you're totally right. There is a lot of detail in this, and this is lovely, these little guys. But this honeycomb, it's like a knit one below type stitch, is beautiful. And I have no idea how long this is going to take me because I'm a little bit concerned. Partially why I'm stalling with this is the pattern calls for 900 meters. I have about 800 meters of everything. I just couldn't. I really wanted this pattern. I really wanted this pattern to be with this yarn. I only had 2 of this colour, Stag Bunny. I wasn't going to track down and work out where to find, because they weren't in stock where I bought this. I bought this from Skein Sisters a very long time ago. I wasn't going to track down a 3rd skein of this. I am just going to knit till I can't knit anymore. But it is also a lot of work for something that may or may not be what you want it to be. So anyway, look, it's knitting. It's fun. We'll see where it gets to. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I like a big shawl, so that's my worry, is that I'm going to do all this knitting and then it's not going to be wearable or usable. But I still think 800 meters is still a lot of meters. That should still get me a very reasonable sized shawl. But I imagine because it is quite detailed, it's taking up more yarn. That's my understanding of what's happening here. So we'll see. It does take a little bit more concentration than what I normally knit. And that is a pro and a con, because sometimes all you want, for me, sometimes I want knitting where I'm just stocking it roundy, 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 round. Round and round, round we go. Where she stops, no one knows. When I need a new cup of coffee, generally speaking. This one takes slightly more effort, but it's also beautiful. Like, it's very mindful knitting. If it takes me a very long time, I'm okay with that. This is just like a bit of a dream knit, because I saw it, I saw the picture, I saw the vibe, and I went, I just want it. And I really am not knitting for production so much. Don't get me wrong, I really want that the purple Hecate sweater, I want that because I'm about to do a program I'm about to do for my job, I'm about to do a thing in a very cold place. It's going to be the coldest season of the whole of winter for the next month and a half. I want this done so I can start wearing it, because otherwise I'm not going to wear it till next year because I live in a subtropical location. But I just think I think it's beautiful, and it glows because of the silk in both the things. It's very glowy, and I'd love to do it in the, photograph it in the light, like in the, you know, gold light. But anyway, this might take me forever. I can't promise I'll do any work on it between now and then, because I'm about to start a new project. But I am just happy to have this one on the go, and I like how it has this kind of rosy feel to it. Now, curiously enough, this actually doesn't have a particular intention behind it yet. I am open to the fact that it might not. I'm not going to try and force one to come from it. But interestingly enough, I have had a very strong affinity towards roses recently. One of my favorite oracle decks is the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I'm really enjoying that one. Just in case you're interested, the Kids Silk Haze, the colour number is 590, just in case someone was interested. And yeah, I don't know, I'm feeling affinity towards roses, which is interesting because I've never really felt that before. I've just felt pretty disinterested in roses, but yeah, Rose and Honey. I just saw the pattern. I fell in love with the pattern. It looks so beautiful. It's much more detailed than what I'm used to, but I'm here for it. Okay, more tea. Last whip, and then I'll tell you about some of my plans. I'm gonna lose some stitches. No, I won't. I need more of those needle stopper thingies. Interesting enough, I actually got some from Rainbow Sprinkles last time. Did I make an order from them? I think I did make an order from them. Oh yeah, I did. The peachy one. I was like, yeah. And I also got some needle stoppers, and I still use the same ones. I have one pair and I use them all the time. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is quite a lot of shift between the last time you saw this. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember what I showed you last time, but I'm pretty sure I was like not even finished the halfway. I am now, can you even see that? Can you even see it? Oh yeah, sort of. I am now into my second triangle. I would say I'm about a third of the way through the second triangle. This is the half and half triangle wrap striped. That's not exactly how you say it, but look, if I held it like this, you can see all the different colors. I very like it. I very like it. Now I must admit, okay, here's my one little caveat. There's a part of me that doesn't love the dark light contrast of these stripes. I'm very on the fence about it. Now, am I going to go back? Absolutely fucking not. However, there's a part of me that feels like I'm laughing even as I'm thinking about this, because now that I've thought it, I don't know if I can get it out of my head. But anyway, you know when you see like those old cartoon characters of witches with like stripy tights? Why is that reminding me of that? It just does. I don't know why. This is probably my thumbnail. We'll see. I don't know what it is. There's something about it that just is, but my final color is going to be a cream with the black. And I think that's going to look very chic. I think it's the purple and the black that's doing it to me, but I like the way that all of the colors are working together. And I think by the time there's a bit of balance with some stripes up the top, it will look less, witchy. Now, and in that way, it's like witchy in like a cartoon witchy, not like in a witchy way, which I'm cool with. Now, my intention for this is actually, because it's so ginormous, I am sure I must be off gauge. I haven't even looked at it, but I'm sure it's massive. There's no way this could be in gauge. It's huge. I think this is going to end up being a meditation blanket, which I'm pretty happy about because I've actually just ordered myself a yoga bolster. And I'm not particularly yoga-y, but I have been doing some yin yoga. I've been doing some restorative yoga. And this is nice. And I showed it to a friend the other day, and I was knitting it somewhere. And he was like, that looks like it's like come from Country Road. And I was like, well, actually, I just made it myself. But he was very impressed, and he thought it looked like a very high-end fancy blanket, and it's because it is. And I'm really happy with it. And I'm really glad. Look, I must admit with this, I ordered a set of colours. I think I showed you a while back. I ordered a whole bunch of other colours from Purl Soho to fix it because it wasn't kind of progressing the way I hoped. But when I look at all these colours like this, and then I think about there's going to be a cream with the black and white stripe, I'm really happy with that. And I think it's really beautiful. And I love the pink and the green. That one was easy. The other side, I originally had like tried it with a mustard color. I had two other pinks. One pink was like super papaya pink. The other one was kind of like, it was too red. I was looking for like a deep berry, like almost like a burgundy that might have gone with it. And I think that would have been beautiful too. But I'm kind of happy where I've landed. I feel like it's a bit more cool toned. And I don't know, I'm happy with where I've landed. I'm surprised actually how much I've gotten done on this, and it's mostly because of like, uni lectures, in between projects. I can't be bothered to think. It's giant. It's ginormous. At some point I might even calculate all the stitches just for funsies. And I think I'll definitely have yarn left over, so I'm interested to see what I can do with the leftover yarn. We'll see. I'm curious about it, but I am very pleased that I'm making this. I really am. It's a slow project, but for me, I also just sit there going, this is like my for the love of knitting project. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I really want a project to work on and be done and to wear, like I have with my Hecate sweater. But I have wanted a knit that's quick because I like the production. I like wearing the things, but I also think that there is something really nice about, like when I've looked forward in my hopefully long life, like I got plenty of time to knit. Do you know what I mean? Like I got plenty of time to knit. So a project like this is beautiful because it's like, it doesn't matter how long this takes me. It doesn't matter if this sits like this for 3 more years. I mean, it won't, but it wouldn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm just knitting for the love of it. And I think that is also a really nice thing, that there is no time frame or requirement. And I know a lot of people have a knit like this just constantly on their needles because it is like it is for that, you know, like just a complete and I've heard people talk about this. I was about to say complete surrender, and I've heard people talk about this as an exercise in surrender, and it's definitely how I feel about it. I have no feeling of needing to get it done. It's done when it's done. It's beautiful. I love this yarn. It is delightful. I really enjoy that. I know that there are people that have like knit a sweater in this, and I'd be very interested to see what that fabric knits up as. I'm disinclined to block this. I'd actually love to know what you think about this, actually. I'm disinclined to block it because of how fucking ginormous it is. However, if you tell me, no pressure or anything, but if you tell me that this yarn is even better blocked, I'll block it. Because when I think about this as far as being a yarn used for a sweater, it seems too fine, and it seems like, do you know what I mean? And it just doesn't quite seem like a sweater's yarn. But what I wonder is, because of the highlandiness of the wool, I wonder if it'll plump. Because it's quite airy. So I wonder if it'll plump. And if you tell me it does, 100%, doesn't matter how big it is. It's going to be a meditation blanket. It's probably not going to be really like a shawl, like a wearable one for me, because I think it's just too big. But this wool is delightful. It's gorgeous. If I didn't say it's linen quill, it's linen quill. Okay, cool. So that concludes the things that I am currently making. I would like to pop in a couple of the, oh, I'm just reaching, things I'm about to be making. So, a couple of plans. First plan is, I want to just look up this pattern to show you. Let me see if I can just find it real quick. Oh yeah, sick. So I've just made an order, it just got here today, which is partially why it's gonna crinkle. Don't think about it, okay? Don't think about pink elephants. Oh, I hope I said this store when I said it because I really meant that this one is amazing. I'm very happy with it. I am going to, so this is from the Hunter Valley wool store, which I have been to in person. I can't remember the owner's name, although it probably says it right here. Cynthia! It was lovely. It was really, really random. It was out in the middle of nowhere. It was beautiful. Highly recommend. If you're in the Hunter Valley, by all means, go. It was lovely. And actually, when I was there, I was a very new knitter, so it was a number of years ago. And the owner, Cynthia, actually recommended this yarn, which I'm now repurchasing for my first ever pair of socks. And I'm very, 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 very happy with it. So I have bought these. This is Amble. It's by the Fibre Co. And it's a blend of merino wool, alpaca, and recycled nylon. And so I'm just really curious about this because it says that it's a conscious blend, and I'm really interested in that. Interesting. Oh, it's an eco-friendly, anti-shrinkage, easy wash treatment. And it's recycled nylon. Nice. It's beautiful. This is lovely. It's just gorgeous. And what I wanted is, I have a lot of sweaters, and some of those sweaters are colourful. And what I find is, sometimes I want a neutral shawl scarf thing to wear with it, but I don't know if I've quite got it in me to knit an entirely grey shawl. Ironically, I can knit an entire grey sweater, no biggie, but an entire grey shawl I wasn't sure. And I've been really interested in doing some colour work. And I know I said I was going to knit a colourwork sweater. I'm still open to it. It's happening at some point. But what I actually really wanted to knit for this is the Auntie's cowl, which I hope you can see. Yes, lovely. But I'm gonna knit it in this. And so what I'm thinking of, and I'm a little on the fence. I'm gonna make the decision obviously today. I'm thinking I'm gonna do this as the background and this is the contrast. Because when I look at this, I like how it has, oh, that's better. I like how it has the contrast in the dark colour. And I'm thinking that what it will do is when I have when I have a jumper that is like, I've got that dark burgundy Persephone sweater, and I have, what else do I have? Well, I'm about to have my purple Hecate sweater, and I really want to knit a dark blue sweater. What I'm thinking is it's going to give, and oh, I've got my grey ranunculus. It's going to give me that kind of base, but then colour work. So I'm going to cast this on this afternoon. And partially what I really wanted with this was I really wanted a project that was going to keep my brain focused, but actually not be very complicated. And so with the Rose and Honey, I actually need quite a bit of concentration because I'm following a written out pattern. Now, it's not a complicated pattern so far. I want to clarify that. And if you want to knit it with me, please do. I almost thought about having a cowl. And so if you're interested in that, you could put it down below, but I'm a little worried that I won't finish in the time frame, if I'm honest. But I really enjoyed the last cowl, and I gave away like 4 or 5 prizes because I had so many donated, which was awesome. So I was able to give away a lot of prizes, which is really cool. So if we're thinking, if anyone's interested in a cowl, we could do that. We also could do something else. So, But if there's enough people that are interested in knitting this along with me, maybe we do it together. And why am I telling you this again? Where did I go? I like the fact that I just felt you were talking about this. I just felt you do it from the future. Yes, I want something that's going to keep my brain focused, and so that it's like really quite how I turn off my other life, turn that off by really focusing on that. So I like the fact that I'm going to have a chart to follow, but I also like the fact that it's going to be small circumference, probably quite popcorny, you know. And I also like that it's going to be neutral, but not, you know, like, because it's got colour work. This is a beautiful yarn. This would make a stunning sweater. Stunning. Yeah, it's beautiful. I don't know if you've knit this before, but it's gorgeous. I don't know where my socks went. I think my husband stole them, if I'm really honest. I've never seen them again. He wore them one time. They stretched a bit because he didn't think that all the way through, and I've never seen them again. But now you might also know that in that pattern there is a third colour. I may or may not do that. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to see how I go. But I do actually have this exact same yarn in a like rust, so I could pop that in there, but I'm very inclined to just keep two colours and just roll with it, because yeah, I just want to. So yeah, I'm going to cast this on this afternoon. Can't fucking wait. Very excited. It's going to be a very creative day for me. Okay, so what else do I have? I made a swatch with this today. So I have two things. One, I think I showed you this last time, and I'm just showing you to remind yourself, really me. I actually do want to cast this on. This is beautiful. This is the Good Wool by Purl Soho in the colourway Blue Moon. I bought shit tons of this. I had no plan really, but I think when I showed you last, I had every intention of casting on the Pink Fizz. I have since questioned that because there's a lot of lace work in the Pink Fizz. Do I have it here? This would be really handy if I had what I'm thinking about here. No, I don't. It's okay. I cast on the 2x2 rib border. And it's pretty, right? But even with the 2x2 rib, I'm not getting like amazing stitch definition with that yarn, with that, what's that thing called? Needle size, 4mm needle size. And what I'm wondering with this is, because it's a twisted, variegated yarn, variegated, very light. It's not variegated, it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? You guys all know what I'm saying, right? It's not variegated, but it's not a flat colour. It's mild. Mild? Anyway, it's not a flat colour. I'm a little worried that I'm going to go to all the work of pink fizzing the Pink Fizz, and it's not going to quite be what I want. And I honestly think that what I exactly want, I just want exactly Pink Fizz. Exactly Andrea Mowry's version. I think I want High Garden. I think I want the Mohair. I want the thing. I think I just need to spend the whatever it's going to cost me to get that exact one, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be my birthday knit. I'm pretty sure that's what I want. Because I just looked at it and it's the most Alexy thing on the planet, and I could go all the trouble to knit it in this. I don't think it's going to be exactly what I want. I just don't. So that leaves me with a sweater's quantity of this gorgeous yarn. It feels so nice. I want to cast this on. It'll be beautiful. This will be a beautiful spring sweater. Beautiful. What do I make, guys? What do I do? What do I make with it? I've tried to make the Pink Fizz in two other things, and I just think I need to surrender to the fact that I actually just want the actual thing that she's got. And I've done that a couple of times before, right? Like I'm not a stranger to this. I have knit the Fleur in the original colorways and yarn choice. I have knit the In the Loop in the original yarns and colorways. I have, I don't know, quite a few things where I've just gone, I want that one. And I think that what's amazing about knitting is you can do whatever the fuck you want. If you want to knit in a completely different color, in a completely different yarn. I saw a pink fizz that was knit in a tweedy, like woolen spun fingering, oh, it was a DK, but anyway, stunning, stunning, so gorgeous. You'd get so much wear out of it. It's just not the one I want. And I love this color. Like, I'm really into this. If you haven't noticed, I'm super into this bluey purple at the moment. I'm just dying for it. In my head, this is like, I just hear Lavender Haze by Taylor Swift when I see this. That's all I can hear. So I think I need a Lavender Haze sweater. It's beautiful. I want something in this so badly. I did the swatch. It's gorgeous. I want to knit this. I just don't know what I want. I have a little interest that I could do some cabling, but I think that maybe what it would need to be would be more like a braid. I don't want a full cable sweater. I'm not there yet, friends. I'm not there. But maybe like a cable raglan or like something. It's beautiful. I want to knit something. Tell me what you think. If you've got any ideas, I love hearing them. I often cast on something you've suggested. I really only triangle wrapped because you guys were like, triangle wrap. So that's one option. And I love this, and I do want to cast this on. I also have got, this is just like a real wild card. And it really is. You're going to look at it and be like, what is going on here? Good question. And I'll tell you. This is not the most attractive ball of yarn. I have a sweater's quantity of this yarn, and it's called Wool to Be Wild. Now, it looks very blue in that, and it is blue, I guess. It's called denim, but it's more like a purpley blue. It does look very blue there, doesn't it? It doesn't actually look like a very Alexy colour, so I'm on the fence about this. I did a swatch. Now, this is a yarn that you can purchase at the Spotlights. And I bought a sweater's quantity, and I don't really know what I was thinking. And I think what I was thinking was, I wasn't a big fan of this colour. It's not an Alexy colour, really. Although, to be honest, look at that. That's actually pretty... Anyway. I bought this because my boss actually lent me a sweater in this colour, and I never in a million years would have picked this colour for me. No. And I wore her sweater, and it was a store-bought sweater, but it was a V-neck with like a 2x2 rib and this colour, and it was nice. It was really nice. And I was like, I need that sweater. And then I was in Spotlight, and they had a super duper duper sale. I feel like I should make this ball look better. If it's not really obvious, you can guess what small furry creature may have attempted to access this. And no, it's not me. It's the baby. So I've done a swatch on a 6.5mm needle. It's currently wet, so I'm not going to show you, but maybe I'll post it on the Instagrams if you're interested. It's you can see it's a little bit marled. I hope you can see that. It's got like white fluffs through it, so it really is kind of denim-y. Thoughts? I've knit the On the Sea train. I'm mentioning a lot of Espace Tricot patterns today, so by all means check them out. They're really wonderful. For free patterns, I honestly think that's the best place to go. I've knit the On the Sea train beanie in this. It's very nice. I must admit, when I went on Ravelry, I didn't love any of the projects made in this. Not many of them. Like, there are a couple that looked like, yeah, pretty nice, but there wasn't any that I was like, oh, damn. And I must admit, this has been my, I feel like I'm too fluffy. This has been my experience with, I can see a bit of fluff in my hair too, and it's really pissing me off. Where is it? Get it. It's just, you know those things where you can see it in the viewfinder and you're like, it's annoying me. It's not that big of a deal. You guys probably haven't even noticed it until I pointed it out. Or it was annoying you too. Now we're all... Is it gone? Maybe. Oh yes, this is what happens with me Spotlight yarns. Is I get drawn in by the price tag and the way it feels in the ball. But when I knit it up, I don't like the fabric and I don't like the way it feels in my hands. Now, this was quite pleasant to knit with. Oh, it's fine. Nothing, I wouldn't say I liked it, but I didn't dislike it either. It was just perfectly adequate. And I've done the swatch. And I think with this, what I've done is traditionally I have knit it at too small a gauge. It doesn't actually tell you, I don't know why, but sometimes yarns from Spotlight and whatever, they don't tell you the gauge. They give you a needle size, but it's not always, it's like how sometimes with a yarn it says it says recommended needle size is a US 4, no sorry, a 4mm needle. But the pattern and the gauge, depending on the flow that you want of the drape of what you want and what kind of project, you might actually knit that up on a 5 or even a 6 sometimes, depending on the project. So I feel like with stuff like this, sometimes I am actually, to be honest, I've become I keep saying that I'm not a swatcher. I pretty much swatched every single thing that I've knit recently, so I'm turning into a swatcher. I will not be swatching the colour work of my cow, that'll be fine. But I did a swatch in a 6.5. It says that it's recommended a 6 needle. I'm going to go up half a needle because I think it needs a little bit of drape and a little bit of breathing room. Because that's my experience with stuff like this, is the yarn itself is quite dense. And so it needs a bit of air around it in order to not be stiff and like plasticky. I'm going to do the swatch. I'm going to see how it goes. There's a part of me looking at it going, it doesn't feel like the most Alexy of colours. And so there is a part of me going, is this just going to be something that isn't going to work for me? And I'm just pushing, you know, stuff uphill. Like, if I'm really honest, even if as I'm sitting here now, you're helping me work this out, because I look at this and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to cast this on. This less so, no, I don't feel quite as strongly about it. But look at that. Jesus, I need a sweater in that. Fuck, that's pretty. Really, I mean, look at that. God damn, and it's really nice, plumpy. But I do want to use this. Like, I have a sweaters quantity. What do you think I can do with this? What do you think it would look nice in? Do we think it's not my color? I'm okay with it. I'm not offended. I would genuinely like some feedback. If the answer is, hey babe, it's not really your thing. It's nice, but I'm not loving it. I make something for someone else. It's not an offensive thing. You know, as long as we can say, I'm a really big believer in we can say truth kindly, you know? So I'm openly saying, if you don't think this is my thing, I'm very happy to hear it. Gently, kindly, directly. That's fine. But I'm like, this is obviously my thing. So if you've got any suggestions for this, I've got a sweaters quantity. I would like a sweater in it. I really would. Fuck, it's beautiful. But I also have a sweaters quantity of this, and I feel like it would be good. Otherwise, what I could do is I could knit up something for someone else. It would be, yeah. Anyway, we'll see what I think. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. The other things that I wanted to mention was I have been reading a wonderful book series. Now, in saying this, I've been reading 2 really great books, and I will mention both of them because one of them is like literarily beautiful, and the other one is just super entertaining. One is I have been reading Still Life by Sarah Winman. It is beautiful. It was recommended to me by a friend because I was talking to her about my experiences in Italy, and in particular, this most magical moment that I had on a bridge in Verona, where it was like, it just was one of those moments where I really had this sense that like my soul had led me to that exact point, and there was something in that moment where it just sucked back in, and I was just like, oh yeah, like this is where I was like here to collect something, you know? And it was just the most magical experience. And so I was telling her about this experience, and they recommended this book, Still Life by Sarah Winman. It is delightful. I'm about halfway through. Here's the cover if you haven't seen it. It's delightful. I'm really enjoying it. It's got a whole bunch of really wonderful characters. And there's a whole bunch of places I've been in it. So it's really nice. I feel like I can imagine being there, and it's like my Italian life without actually being there. The other book that I'm reading, which is, I must admit, a little harder to access, I think, because I couldn't find it on iBooks, which is where I get a lot of my books, is because she's a local author to where I live. This is the second book. I'll find the first one for you, but it's Kate Schumacher, and this one is called The Grail Cycle, is the series, trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. This is called The Song of Magic. And I think the first one's called The Call of the Sea. Yeah, The Call of the Sea. I'm really enjoying these. These are kind of like, you know, what are they called? Like, if you like Sarah J Maas, you'll like these. They're very, they're kind of that beautiful mixture of like fantasy, folklore, you know, romance, adventure, yeah, just delightful, and I'm really enjoying them, because sometimes when you read those books, it's like I read one recently which was good, but it was good, I enjoyed it, but it was nothing to write home about, you know what I mean? Whereas these ones are really, I'm really enjoying them. And I've been reading a lot more of my books on my iPad, because I have quite a lot of books, and I am trying to not buy too many more. I buy, at the moment my rule is, I buy psychotherapy books, because I can claim those on tax, and I read a lot of those. And so I read textbooks, and I read a lot of psychotherapy books. And I am occasionally buying a book that I can't like buy online. So that's been really fun. So I bought these ones. I am going to buy The Artist's Way in person, because what I really love is I love being able to write on my books, which I know many people feel stressed about, but I love being able to scribble all over textbooks as well. So that's one of the reasons I love buying textbooks, even though I can access them through my university. I like being able to buy them and scribble all over them if it's a particularly good one. I don't buy all my textbooks for my units, but there's a few particular areas of psychotherapy that I'm particularly passionate about, so I buy those and read those, and have those kind of manuals, and then because that's what I do for fun. And but I also love that with iBooks, and I'm sure you can do this with Kindles too, I'm sure of it, I like that I can highlight them. So it means that if I'm reading a book, like I'm currently reading on my I'm reading Still Life on my iPad, but I'm also reading Sovereign Love by Danae Logan, which is a beautiful book. Again, actually, if you're interested in masculine feminine dynamics in general, you might really like that book. It is relationships based, but it's basically about how do you find those things within yourself. So if you're interested, if you're hearing like some of that stuff, and I know that sometimes I say it like it's a thing that people already know, but it's the reason I'm doing that is because I'm a knitting podcast, and I just kind of throw in that stuff, you know, a little sprinkle. But if it's something you're interested in and you'd like to learn more about, or that you identify with, that's a really lovely book. And she she's a depth psychologist, so she uses Jungian principles and archetypal psychology. So that's really fun. And then what else has been going on? Not much really. I've been very busy, and I've just had this last week, I've been unwell, so I've had a very quiet week. I've worked from home a lot this week, and that's been really nice to have a slower pace. I ordered myself a yoga bolster. I'm so excited for that. And I have a very big plan this afternoon to sit on the couch and cast on my new cowl, and hopefully get some more of my sleeve done when I get tired of concentrating. And yeah, we're in whale watching season here on the mid-north coast of Australia. So I would have seen about 6 whales this morning on my morning walk, which is stunning. I love whales. Humpback whales. And yeah, I might do some cooking this afternoon, maybe. Or maybe not. As I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, that sounds like a lot of work. Wouldn't we rather be knitting? I'm not a big cook. Yeah. Anyway, we might leave it there. Buddy, I don't know where he's gone. He's gone for a little nap. So I will post some things on the Instagram. If you want to follow me on the Instagram, it's Serenity Knits. No, hold on. The Serenity Knitting Society. I'm on Ravelry at Serenity Knits 23. And I'm not great at updating my Ravelry. I will, occasionally I just do a mass upload. And yeah, thanks to the lovely people who asked the couple of questions. That was really nice. And if you're interested in a cal, let me know. If you're interested in the rose and honey, full on let me know. If you're interested in something else, let's just see how we go. I really like that. And I really liked yeah, I really like the opportunity to be able to give away prizes. I have been very lucky to win quite a few things. So I love the fact that, like, yeah, why don't we, like, give shit away? Like, I love free stuff. It's like a gift from the universe, but really it was from me. But actually, it was actually from somebody else, because I got given a lot of, one of the prizes was from Bed of Roses. They gifted that to me, so I passed that on. I had another beautiful viewer, Nikki, who donated a whole bunch of wonderful prizes. I had Knit Happens in Willumbar donate some prizes, and I feel like I had something else. I had another prize too. One of them I might have put together. I had like 4, I definitely had 4 prizes, because I remember I sent one to, like, oh, hang on, the Netherlands, except maybe their address was somewhere else. There was one where it was on the border. I can remember it was on the border, and we couldn't work it out. And I took the prize all the way to Italy, and then for some reason the Italian post system lost it, so I had to send them something else. God bless the Italian post system. And then I had one that was in New Zealand, and then I had one that was in Victoria, and then another one that I think was New South Wales, maybe? Adelaide. No, anyway, I had a lot, and so that was really great. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. That was fun. I feel a bit more inspired, particularly about this. I'm glad I pulled this out, because now I'm like, oh yeah, baby, we got to cast this on. But I feel like I've got 1 sweater, 2 shawls. I'm about to start a cowl. I'll wait until, this will be after my Hecate. I'd just like to let you all know that I'm very grateful for this creative platform. Just come and sit and chat and think through and talk through, because, you know, I'm a processor by speech. And so even this process of sitting here and chatting to you helps me get some clarity on my creative decisions. And so it's funny, a lot of these decisions I make in advance, but if I'm really honest, a lot of the decisions that I make creatively are through the process of, like, this collaboration. And it's funny because it's like, this could just be me talking to a screen, but it's because I know there's a person on the other side that it actually kind of allows me to kind of talk it through. And then I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, I feel really good about that. Like that moonstone idea, that was fully a collective consciousness situation. I bet someone thought of moonstone before I said it. I'm sure of it. If that was you, you just let me know, and we're on the same wavelength, my friend. Okay, so lots of love. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.